Alongside Jesse Simonton, I'm Austin Price for the S&P Stock Report Recruiting Edition here as we head off with 2 weekends left. This one and, of course, next weekend, the final weekend before the early signing period begins. Stock up for you.
Stock up for me, I think it's just general recruiting momentum right now for Tennessee. They're in on a lot of guys, whether it's, guys they've been on for months or even, over a year, the Tyler Barons, the Octavius Oxendines, or even guys like Kari Coleman now, the Kansas outside linebacker, defensive end commit. Suddenly they're in the mix there with Jabari Smalls, Amari Thomas, what happens with his decision on Monday. So Tennessee is in the name of a lot of prospects all across the country right now.
Stock up for me, I'm going to go just the evaluations. Tennessee, I think, feels like they hit a home run with Kyrie Miller. More and more schools contact him by the day, but he seems really, really firm. Javonte Spraggins, same thing. And then the guy that Tennessee fans were worried most about, Jimmy Callaway, who has continued to get more and more interest, more and more offers. Oklahoma, Auburn, Georgia's at least expressed interest, being the home state school. Obviously, Kentucky's been the biggest threat all along. But Jimmy Callaway is set to sign on the 18th. He'll visit Kentucky this weekend. He's currently there. And then Tennessee next weekend. Love where Tennessee's at and expect him to sign with Tennessee on the 18th. Stock down for you.
I think stock down is just the complete inverse of, or the opposite of what we just talked about, though. 18 commits right now in the class. But Tennessee's in so many different guys' names. How are they going to fit everybody in? We say it every time. The numbers seem to work themselves out. It's going to be tricky.
This is the one year that it's hard for me to connect all the dots.
It's going to be tricky to see. You can count to 30 pretty quickly with the guys.
And it'd be realistic.
Yeah, with the guys that Tennessee wants. And, some of these guys like Darnell Washington could sign early but not make their decision known until January. Some, like a Jay Hardy, a guy that Tennessee's trying to flip, will not make a decision until February. But the majority of the guys Tennessee's in on are going to decide on December 18th. So some hard conversations are going to be being had between now and that first day of the early signing period.
I want to just piggyback that. It's like when the clown pulls the handkerchief out of the pocket and it keeps going and going and going. That's what it feels like with the offers, with all the options for Tennessee right now. The options are plentiful. And, it seemed like just a couple of weeks ago, everybody's saying, we've won 4 in a row, we've won 5 in a row, where's all the momentum? Well, all of a sudden, there's quite a bit of momentum out there for Tennessee. There's a lot of options. And I think guys like D. Beckwith, who aren't going to sign until February, Jay Hardy would obviously have a spot here regardless if he doesn't sign early with Auburn, if he decides to wait and give Tennessee another look. Those guys in that February range, it could be interesting, just number of spots Tennessee has left on the board, because Tennessee would have a real option to fill almost all their 25 come December 18th.
I'm going south of 3. South of 3 heading to the February.
Gotcha. South of 3 for this guy. Stock stagnant. Let's go. For me, I'm going to go Mordecai McDaniel. Tennessee has had him committed for a long time, but Florida's never given up. They finished up the bridesmaid for Mordecai when Mordecai committed to Tennessee. But they've continued to peck away. He's already taken his official visit to Tennessee. I'm going to be interested to see where this thing goes over the course of the next couple of weeks leading into December 18th.
For me, for my stock study, I'm just going the flips in general. But mostly for guys that Tennessee's trying to flip. I think they feel pretty good about a guy like Jimmy Holiday right now. He will decide on December 18th. But where are they at with B.J. Ojulari? They clearly are trying to get back in there. They visited him this past week. Is LSU filling up at outside linebacker spots? You and I both believe they're not just going to cut a kid. With Ojulari's acclaim and the fact that he's best friends with one of their top commits and Eric Gilbert. So what happens there? What happens with Jay Hardy? You kind of teased that earlier. Not going to decide until February, so that gives Tennessee a little more time to try to get back in the good graces there with the Chattanooga native. Just a lot of uncertainty, I think, across the board with guys Tennessee's trying to flip.
No doubt. And do they give old Savell Smalls a call? Because he originally was not going to sign until February anyway. I could see Tennessee at least kicking the tires there. Would be shocked if they didn't, just because why not? I mean, you were in a good spot with him before he committed to Washington. Washington now has had the coaching change, and sure, Jimmy Lake was the defensive coordinator, and he just got promoted. But obviously, they did not have quite the year that they had hoped, and Tennessee has been a really hot team late in the process. So I'm interested to see, does Tennessee kind of just kick the tires and see what he says? I mean, he may tell them no, but you never know. So that's a look at the recruiting, stock ups, stock downs, and stock stagnates. He's Jesse Simonton. I'm Austin Price for the S&P Stock Report.